I am currently sitting at the side of the road in middle of nowhere, no idea where I am. Left Stewart Island this morning, which is an amazing place. Really magical little island, 80% national park. Really cool little community. Went for a hike out to the lighthouse. Watched a little film in a place called the Bunker House about the history of Stewart Island. Rented an e-bike. Drove out to the edge of the edge of the island, and then took the e-bike back, and the guy that ran the e-bike place, Pete, asked me if I played golf, and I said yeah, and he took me for a game of golf, which was fun. The scenery's pretty incredible for a golf course, but it was pretty cloudy, so I didn't really catch it. Went to the pub, met a girl that ran one of the hostels that I tried to get into that didn't have any space. So I kind of just rocked up to the island yesterday, booked a ticket to get on it, and there wasn't any accommodation at the first place I tried, or the second place. And I went to get a room in the hotel, and then it had gone by the time I went to confirm it. So I started to panic a little bit, but as with everything, it always works out. And they phoned this woman who owns a house. I think she's retired, and she has 2 rooms in it that she rents out overnight for travellers, which is completely unadvertised. And I ended up staying there, which was fine. Private room, great view. So I met the girl that helped me get that. An American girl called Rachel, who is a wine sales manager from Colorado, and she's going to take 5 flights today to get back to Colorado. So Invercargill to Christchurch to Auckland to LA to Denver, I think, which is just nuts. I'm really just name dropping, so it's it looks like I've got friends. So, 'cause I do meet people. Honest, I do meet people. What I should do is do one of these videos and get some of the people that I meet to actually say their name on camera and say who they are and stuff and whatever, just to prove that I'm not a complete loner. Anyway, why am I doing this in the car? Well, because this is pretty much where I spend most of my time these days. I'm in the car. I mean, I drive about between 2 and 3.5 hours a day in the car, just getting around. And the only way I get through it is podcasts. Guardian Football Weekly, that is my jam. It's my jam. So I try and download those when I'm on Wi-Fi. And if I really need my football fix, then I'll download the other one with James Richardson. I would actually quite like to know how many minutes of that I've listened to in my lifetime, because it's a crazy amount. If you know a way that you can find out how many minutes of a podcast you've listened to, let me know. The other thing that gets me through all these are these bad boys. RJ's Raspberry Chalk Logs. They are insane. These are the chocolate ones, but you get ones with white chocolate, which are just amazing. I bought a sausage roll today for lunch, and I bought it at breakfast time. I'd already had breakfast. You might see where I'm going here. I had it in the car, and I challenge anyone to buy a sausage roll and leave it in the car and not eat it after 10 minutes. I lasted 10 minutes. In fact, I would have eaten it quicker, but I couldn't find anywhere to stop to have it. Country roads apparently don't have sausage roll stop places. They have driveways. I could have stopped in a driveway, and no doubt some farmer in a massive truck would have come along and frowned at me eating a sausage roll in his driveway. So yeah, somebody needs to invent lay-bys for sausage roll eating spots on country roads. And you want somewhere with a view. You want a scenic location to eat your sausage roll. I'm disappointed with the tomato ketchup thing. It wasn't one of those squeezy ones. I think you only get them in Australia, which is just genius. How was your trip to New Zealand, Craig? Yeah, it was great. I had sausage roll. Yeah, it was great. Yeah. So since the last proper video, I've been to, when did I have that? So I did that in the Coromandel. I went to Auckland and stayed with Kai, Kieran's brother. Great hospitality. I met Brendan in Auckland. Met Agatha in Auckland. We went to Waiheke Island. I had a great day out at the wineries. Caught up with her again the next day with her and Brendan for breakfast. Then I flew to Queenstown, and Queenstown is incredible. Everyone's told me how good Queenstown is. Emily, Sarah and James, Adam and Emily.
In 1,000 feet,
got the sat nav on. Yeah, those guys, they rave about it, and I don't think I really expected it. Like I kind of expected, I don't know, like a bit of a busy city, but it's a town and it's on a lake, and it's incredible. It's like, kind of I haven't been to any ski resorts in Europe, but it makes me think that's what ski resorts in Europe are like. Like, imagine a lake with huge kind of hills at either side, just stunning, and you've got this beautiful little town perched on the lake. Great little cafes and restaurants, bars, tons of stuff to do. Like I went up this Ben Lomond, this huge hill, and did the luge, which was fun. It's like a sort of go-kart, more like a metal sheet with like brakes on it. So that was cool. I didn't do it, but you can do paragliding, you can do bungee jumping, you can do jet boating. They've got one of those like shark boat things that you can get in that just look like a tiny little car on the water. It goes super fast. I met Maya, because her, Roxy, Katrin and Ali were all going hiking for 4 days. So I met Maya. We went out on a riverside cruise thing that ended up at this farm where we had like this amazing dinner, and then they had a guy that sheared the sheep in front of you, so you could watch the sheep shearing, which was kind of fun. And then he had a dog that went and did loads of tricks and brought sheep back. That was cool. And then we went and had a night out in Queenstown. We met this American couple who were crazy and really good fun, and I have a place to stay in North Carolina apparently. But more than just Queenstown, it's the area around it. So like, I drove out to Glenorchy on Emily's recommendation, Emily Bywater, and there's nothing there. There's like a campsite and a pub basically, which was quite surprising. I expected there to be a bit more there, and I sort of like went to walk into the town centre and then ended up on a walk around one of the lakes, and then I met a girl called Emma from Carlisle, and so we sort of hung out for a couple of days. She was on the campsite as well. Took the car out to have a look at some places, ended up at Paradise, which is apparently where they filmed Lord of the Rings, so it's like Isengard. Boromir died there. Oh, spoiler if you haven't seen it. And then it's like gravel track road, it's crazy around there. We did a hike, had to go past Kinloch. Everything's got a Scottish name around here. It's pretty funny, it's cool, I like it. I can actually pronounce them better than all the foreigners. So we went to Kinloch, that's a gravel track road. I think all up it's about 20-30 k's from Glenorchy. It takes ages, like you end up in these tiny little single track gravel track roads. And then I had a quick look behind me to see the scenery, and then when I turned around, there was like this articulated lorry, two of them with sheep in it, that missed the side of the car by about 4mm. But the hike around there was fantastic. Like, I had everything, like rivers, meadows, like all the animals that you sort of walk past. This really incredible bay, so it was like Elfin Bay, and you come out onto Lake Wakatipu. I always have to think really hard when I'm pronouncing these names. And then, yeah, little pier, ran off the pier, jumped into the water, like really cool. Just scenery's just incredible. We did a hike up past Wanaka. Went up to a little hut, me and the 4 girls. Stayed there overnight, had some wine, played some cards, and then they were heading out the next day. So that was interesting because the weather was pretty bad, and I got soaked coming back. And then I had to drive through all these fords, so I was kind of worried that I wouldn't get through the fords. And the girls were going to be up on the hills and all that. They wanted to go and see Cascade Falls, I think, which I'm not sure they were able to do, so I need to catch up with them. But yeah, just insane scenery. And then I went to Doubtful Sound because Milford Sound is closed because of the floods. Doubtful's very similar, just not quite as dramatic apparently. It's called a sound, but it's actually a fjord. So apparently the difference is a fjord created by a glacier, which creates the kind of dramatic hillscape, and then it's back flooded by the sea. Whereas the sound's done by a river, same thing but by a river. So they named it wrong. Anyway, it was okay. I didn't think it was amazing, but I think I'd just been so spoilt for scenery everywhere else. Literally on a boat and just sort of sailed around on the boat, and it was interesting. You find out some fun facts, but wasn't blown away by it. Met some more people there, and then travelled to Stewart Island. So I'm heading now towards the Catlins. I've kind of gotten into hiking. I've had quite a few day walks, and then that one overnight stay at Mount Aspiring Hut. Getting into it a little bit. I bought a $20 pop-up tent, which is this big round thing. Like it just pops up and you're good to go, but it's got like 2 pegs, and if it rains or it's windy, you wake up in a different country. That thing is, it's not going to protect me, but it'll do the job. And my cheap sleeping bag. I've got no hiking gear. Like, I just wasn't prepared for hiking. I think if you come on a proper hiking trip, you bring a big bag. I just had a suitcase with all my normal stuff in it, so you can't really rock up to a campsite with a huge suitcase. Not at least if you're hiking and staying in a hut. But the Catlins is meant to be amazing. It's right on the coast. There's some surfing there, so I might try and rent a board. Got high expectations of the Catlins, and then I'm gonna head to Dunedin after that. So I was kind of hoping to see the Tottenham game against RB Leipzig tomorrow, but I might struggle. I can't get the VPN thing to work, so I can't watch it on my phone. The disappointment. But yeah, Dunedin, that should be cool. I'm looking forward to that. I've heard it's quite a cool city, university city, and it's got the old Gaelic name for Edinburgh, and all the streets are meant to be the same stuff. I'm weirdly excited about that, which is weird. And I'm just looking forward to maybe staying somewhere for a couple of days, because everywhere's been like one night here, one night there, and you're just like getting up early. Had to get, like this morning, getting the ferry, jumping in the car, driving for a few hours. First world problems. Hey, like the having to not be at work and meeting loads of people and having fun. Yeah, it's hard.